Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some tips on how to have a successful no spend challenge. Whether you're doing it for a week, for a month, or for a whole year, I hope you can come back to this video and use it during those challenging times when you have the urge to buy something that you don't necessarily need. Now, the first thing that you should already do when doing a no spend, if you haven't already done that yet, is to audit all of your expenses. Whether it's the last 6 months to the last year, this is the perfect time to be able to lay everything out and see for yourself what you're overspending your money on and what those target areas are that you want to consider doing a no spend for. The next thing you want to do is remember your why. Do you have a vision of your future self? What is the purpose of doing a no spend challenge? Are you trying to learn something about yourself? Are you just trying to not spend any money? Write down your reason for why you're doing a no spend challenge. Do you have a strong enough emotional connection to why you are doing this? Is it compelling enough to withstand the sacrifice that you're going to go through doing a no spend challenge? For me, I overspent $1,000 every single month in the last year. I started to use up money that I put aside for my tiny house just so I can pay off my credit cards for my monthly expenses. Once you have your goals, make sure that they are realistic. If it's impossible to do a no spend month, set limitations instead. Next is to prioritize your values. What do you want to spend your money on? What are you saving up for? You want to spend the money on the things that are important to you, not on unnecessary things that you can live without. Some examples would be for traveling, for adventures, having a comfortable lifestyle, hanging out with friends, spending time with family, being financially secure. During a no spend challenge, this is a perfect time to find a new hobby. Think of something that you want to learn. Think of what you envision yourself being 10 years from now, 5 years from now even. Who is that person and what does it take to get there? Maybe read some books, maybe doing a workout routine, maybe decluttering your room or your house. On top of that, this is going to be the time where you need to learn how to be self-sufficient. People pay a lot for convenience, but what is the price for convenience? The average person spends so much on takeout, on food delivery services, on getting groceries delivered to you, dinner subscriptions, going to coffee shops, getting your hair cut, getting your hair styled, personal grooming, maintenance, repairs. Once you can take pride in your daily activities, you're able to take control over your spending, and it'll give you the confidence to keep doing what you're doing. You need to learn the love of DIY, learning to get creative, finding free alternatives, finding ways to being able to do what you're trying to do in other means besides spending money. You have the internet to teach you anything that you want to know. Whether it's learning how to cook your favorite recipes, whether it's how to cut your own hair, you can invest in trimmers so that you don't have to go out and spend money on getting haircuts every time, or making coffee at home. Once you see that you can do this yourself and see how much money you're saving, it's really hard to be able to go back to spending $5, $6 for a cup of coffee that you know that you can make at home. Another thing that you can think of when doing a no spend challenge is think about sustainability. Think of the impact of what you have or what you buy will have on the environment. It's so important now more than ever to think about how consumerism has an impact on our planet. Thinking of sustainability also helps you save money in the long run. Now, there are a lot of products that are sustainable that are good for the environment and for your wallet too. Think about fast fashion, clothes that you need to replace every month just because they're not made with good quality and they don't last that long. Carrying a water bottle around also keeps you from spending money for drinks while you're out and about. Think about reusable bags every time you go shopping, or reusable towels or wipes when you're cleaning. Another thing that's super important is budgeting. This is where you can plan at the beginning of the month to see where you want your money to go. There are different budgeting methods that you can do. There's a 50-30-20 rule or the zero-based budget. You can use what works for you and your lifestyle. You can also check out my budgeting video to see how you can start learning how to budget, and you can also download my budget planner in that video. Another thing that you can consider while you're doing a no spend challenge is to shop your inventory. Work with what you already have. Now, when you're out shopping, I like to make a list and stick to that list. This is my biggest target area, and this is the best way that I can control my habits for overspending. Now, if you find yourself at a market without a list, a best practice is to stop before going to the register and look at your cart to see if what you have in there are actual necessities or they're impulse buys that you don't necessarily need to buy, and you can store it at the store. Another thing you can consider when you're out shopping is if you find something that you want, take a picture of it and keep it in your phone to see if that's actually something that you wanted to purchase. Now, if you are doing a no spend year, one of the most important things that you can do, if you didn't already hear me talking about budget, is to do end of the month reviews. This is where you can assess your budget, see if there's any areas of opportunity where you can cut down on extra spending. The most important thing that you can do is audit your life. See what the content that you are being surrounded by, your friends, your peers, your family, your content on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What behaviors are they encouraging? And is that aligning with your goals? I would consider unfollowing those accounts or unsubscribing to marketing emails where you get constant ads that will encourage you to spend money. Another thing that you can do is to delete apps. But I know that that's hard for a lot of people, but you can consider removing them from your home screen so that it is out of sight and out of mind. Also, who you are surrounding yourself with. Do they know that you're doing a no spend challenge? Consider letting them know so that they can respect your boundaries where they're not encouraging you to spend money as well. And this might not be for everybody, but journaling would be a great way to keep you motivated and reflect on the things that you're having a hard time doing, whether it's writing about an opportunity or a challenge that you're facing when you're going through your everyday life. When you see something that you want to purchase but you can't because you want to stick to your guns. I also talk about other prompts that you can do in my other video, and those are some things that you can do to get started on journaling about no spend or about anything in general. Think about having contentment with what you already have. If you don't, why is that? When do you think it will be enough? When do you have enough makeup? When do you have enough shoes? When do you have enough car? When do you have enough house? Thinking about those ideas will really help you see or learn a little bit more about yourself as to why you want to purchase certain things. Now, the next few tips that I have is probably the most motivating things that you can possibly do and help you through a no spend challenge. So here are my suggestions. I would suggest to track your progress. Actually seeing it on your calendar, ticking off marks that you're doing a no spend. Seeing your progress really does have a motivating effect. There's a reason why there's habit trackers. I will have a link for a download that you can get for a habit tracker to help you along this journey, and I hope that that would be really exciting because I'm really excited to use that also. Another thing that you can do is having a wish list. Write all the things that you want down. Reflect on it and practice delayed gratification. See if what you write on that wants list or your wish list is really something that you wanted, or if it was just an impulse buy because of something that you're thinking about that you think will solve a problem that you already have. But guess what? Buying that thing is not gonna solve your problems. Another thing that you can do is to have sinking funds. Emergencies will always come up where you have to have expenses and you just have to be ready for it. Last month I had to go to the emergency room, and that was a $2,600 bill that I was not expecting. This is why you need to put money aside for things that happen just in case. And these are necessities that you're gonna have to spend money on. I would rather spend money on things that I have to spend money on than things that I didn't need at all. Once you have money set aside for your emergency fund, then you can start adding money towards the wants that you have so that you don't have to go into debt buying them. Another thing that you can do while you're doing your budget is to do an expense tracker. I would highly recommend tracking your expenses to see what you spent your money on, whether it's your monthly expenses like your groceries or any of your variable expenses. Another thing that you can do is putting that money that you would have spent on something unnecessary towards depositing it into whether it's a sinking fund or an investment fund. Think about compound interest. One last thing that you can do during a no spend challenge is to make extra income and track it. Whether it's reselling your old clothes that you don't want anymore, or your shoes, or any other things that you don't necessarily need but has value, you can consider selling these things and have it go towards something that you actually want to have in your wish list. But other than that, that's it for me today, and I hope this helps with the no spend challenge. I hope these tips help you along the way and challenge yourself to keep going, to really push yourself to see what it can do for you. If you have some more tips, definitely leave them in the comments below. Other than that, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you guys on the next one.